So, with Memory of Chaos resetting, I find it really interesting to be doing this video. The main reason why is because last time when I was recommending my own opinions on how to beat the new Memory of Chaos, I suggested ignoring the Trotters. Because sometimes they felt like they could be a DPS loss, they made the game go slower, because every time you gotta see them be summoned and then they go away if they, if you're unable to like slay them. Or if you had like a character such as Asta or Sampo, you could lose a little bit of DPS or even like some breaks for toughness, right? However, in this case, I kind of have to recommend the opposite. Because this time, whenever you slay a Trotter, they do damage to all other enemies, and it is super beneficial. Like, it is insane. And while in my case, personally, I don't recommend going for them immediately, I've enjoyed the idea of stacking them whenever I've been fighting this new Memory of Chaos. For context, what I mean by stacking, it's more than anything that I will only slay a Trotter once there are 2 or 3 Trotters on the field. Usually, I would try to just, take them down immediately. However, I thought about it better, like more and more and more. And depending on which enemies I was fighting, I would simply try to knock them down or slow them with a Loucha ultimate and then wait for another one to spawn. And if I could get even greedier, I could get like a third one in and also damage it a little bit. And the main thing is, once you have 2 Trotters that are somewhat damaged, if you slay the first one will slay the second one. And in the case there was a third one, when 2 Trotters die, that third one is guaranteed to die. So you get like 3 procs back to back to back, and it's beautiful. It's so much damage and it's absolutely insane, and I adore that. Also, great benefit of the Trotters is, again, that enemies such as the Disciples of Sanctus Medicus or the Silvermane Guard, the chiefs, I don't remember their names, but the guy with the big shield, cannot spawn that many enemies because the Trotter's taking a spot. So if there's already 3 enemies on the Trotter, if the Disciples of Sanctus Medicus try to spawn 2 enemies, they can't because there's only space for 1 more. And that just, in my opinion, helps out a lot because that's 1 less threat you don't have to worry about. Like, legitimately, it's been such a nice thing to have them, and I kind of ignored them at first because I was with the same mentality of, oh hey, I'm going to just try to pop off, just try to delete the enemies like I usually did in the previous one, because that was the way that I learned, right? I was like, I don't need the Trotters. I say that knowing full well that I was traumatized after it, and to be fair, they did help me out because even though I ignored them, the fact that I had like 2 Trotters when the wave ended, it meant that I got some skill points back, and I was always back at 5 or 4 skill points at the beginning of the next wave, which I didn't have the luxury this time, which did make it a little bit harder. So this time around, I did feel like skill point management had to be much more improved on my end, because sometimes I would just spam a lot of skills and then I would kind of run into a few problems, and that made things a bit harder at times, or it made it so that I couldn't actually end up charging my shield for Japard and then I would die, or I don't know, I wasn't able to cleanse debuffs that were applied onto my silver roll for my Zilla, and then again I would die, and it was honestly just very, very rough. Speaking also of that, I had to switch Silver Wolf for Zilla in this case, and I will admit I don't have the most, like the best properly built Zilla, but I had to resort to using her over Silver Wolf because of the, I forget the name, but her passive talent, the one where if she slays an enemy, she gets an extra turn. I found that to be so useful because I could slay a Trotter and immediately be able to attack again, regain a skill point, and sometimes take down a little bit of like an enemy's toughness, which was weird because again, Seala's meant to be this character that deletes enemies, right? And again, she's a hunt character, so she's meant to do damage. But because I play the game a little bit suboptimally, I'm not gonna lie, I had to downgrade her to be the Trotter killer. Her role was, I'm gonna charge my ultimate, kill a Trotter, and gain skill points. Which I feel awful about, honestly. Because that's not her role. Her role is to delete. Again, my skill is not really that well built, sadly. I need to get better pieces. And overall, it was chaotic. It was weird, and yeah, like I said, like my characters tended to die more often than not. As a matter of fact, a lot more often than the previous Memory of Chaos Turbulence. Which brings me to my next point, and my slight moments of regret. I feel like this might be a little bit of karma, because while I did point out some flaws that and fears I had about Fu Xuan, again, I don't think Fu Xuan's a bad character, and you know, it's being proved right now, because Fu Xuan absolutely makes Mono Quantum pop off, like I was stated, because again, she's gonna be a great character. I just felt like with Yonching and Blade, they would have a few issues, but I'm getting off the point. The main thing is, I know that Fu Xuan had a lot of potential to pop off, and I'm glad that I'm right, but it also feels like they purposely increased the damage enemies do to you in this Memory of Chaos in comparison to last time. Maybe I'm just paranoid, maybe I'm just, I'm lacking skill, skill diff, and I wouldn't put it against me. Because legitimately, I know for a fact I can be very Pepega and I can fuck up majorly. But no, I genuinely felt that in Memory of Chaos 10 I died so many times fighting the first half. Like, many times I was alive and then suddenly the damage over time took like half of my Natasha's health and I was dead, and I was like, huh, well, this is interesting. As I didn't switch any relics out for my characters. But I genuinely felt like I was dying so much quicker and so much easier. Even on the second half, where I have Clara and Loucha, usually, yes, like most of my team is squishy, given I have Sampo and Kafka, but they could still tank hits decently well, to a certain extent. I'm not saying that, oh, they're just gonna live with like over half HP, because that would be a lie. They took like 70% of their health. But I don't know, I feel like my Clara was taking so much more damage, and then once Clara fell, my safety net for healing dwindled away, and I was just in big issues. Or, I don't know, I could also be, like, again, me being unlucky, because sometimes they would target Kafka or Sampo, and because they get dropped below half HP, Loucha uses his insta-heal on them, and then I lose my cleanse, like the instant cleanse that I would rather have go on Clara once they do like their Giga attack, since that super attack ends up stunning her, right? I think that it inflicts like the quantum break effect, where you're gonna be a little bit knocked, like you get like delayed, and then after it's your turn you take like a massive amount of damage depending on how many times you got hit. Overall, it was interesting. It was fun. Stressful, but fun. And again, maybe I'm just paranoid, but I do feel like they increased the damage. Possibly because, well, Fu Xuan just arrived, which would make her stonks go way up. And we know for a fact that, they always tailor the Memory of Chaos to be in line for whichever new character has arrived into the limited banner. Maybe I'm just scoping out of my mind. Again, maybe it is all just a skill diff. But I legitimately do feel that like I was getting turbo deleted. Like I was disappearing off the face of the earth and there was nothing I could do. Anyways, though, like, at the end of the day, it was very fun. And I might just be insane. Which, to be fair, given my record with random thoughts and random rants and those kind of videos that I'm making, I do feel like I'm insane. Because I will speak random shit that comes into my mind. I don't know. I do enjoy this game, and I hope that everybody's been having a wonderful time. If anything, I hope that this random perspective of mine has helped you clear the latest Memory of Chaos. And yeah, I wish you all the best of luck. If anything, I hope to see you guys in the next video. If you're able to, please drop a like, comment on how Memory of Chaos has been treating you this cycle. Because again, personally, it treated me awfully, but I still wanted to get those stellar jades. Yeah, if you can, drop a like, and I hope you'll have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your days. Bye bye.